All right, okay, folks, welcome to today's presentation of the Steady Trader YouTube live show, I guess. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and today I'm going to reveal to you guys my absolute favorite book on trading. Now, before I say this, or before I explain what the book is and why it is so important, let me say two things. Number one, I am not at all endorsed by this book or by the publisher or by the author. I have zero affiliation with them. This is not, I'm not getting paid for this, okay? And number two, I don't know the author. I know the name's author. His name is Mark Douglas, and he wrote this book. It's called Trading in the Zone. If for some reason, Mark, you come across this video, I would love to set up a chat with you. I'd love to have a YouTube chat with you. I'd love to do something else with you in terms of trading and investing education with you. Having said all that, let's talk about the book. So again, the book is called Trading in the Zone. I've had this now for several years. It's an amazing book. I probably read it once a year. And the reason why it's so good is because the book is not about charts. It's not about teaching you charts and this and that. It's about here. It's about the psychology of trading. To me, the psychology of trading is probably somewhere between 90 and 95% of it all. Yes, of course, you have to learn how to read charts and things like that, but ultimately, you can be a pretty bad chart reader and a pretty bad guy at fundamentals or a gal at fundamentals. If you're really good at this, you can still make a lot of money, okay? Most people do exactly the opposite. Most people will start with something like, wanting to get really good at some scalping strategy or options or this and that and charts. But the reality is that if you spend all your effort on this, you would get very, very much farther, much, much quicker. So the book is all about the psychology of trading, because most people might try to have some sort of a plan or a system in place, but ultimately they can't stick to it. And the reason why they can't stick to it is not because they are bad traders. It's mostly because they can't stick to a system in general, and it's all in your head. So let me read you two quick quotes from this book, and they go as follows. So number one is, when you achieve complete acceptance of the uncertainty of each edge and the uniqueness of each moment, i.e. each trade, your frustration with trading will end. So in other words, what this is trying to say is that at any given trade, you can either make money or lose money, and it really has nothing to do with the outcome of the next trade, right? And you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. If you can't get comfortable with the uncomfortable, which is back to a video that I made just a couple days ago, you can't get good. So the best traders in the world, and I've fortunately achieved this state at this point about 10, 12 years ago, you get into a point where you're completely agnostic as to the outcome of the individual trade. You don't care if you make money, you don't care if you lose money. Another quote here, this is quote number two, is typical traders go through the exercise of convincing themselves that they're right before they get into the trade, because the alternative, i.e. being wrong, is simply unacceptable, okay? And that's exactly the problem. You need to get into a trade and not care at all whether you make money or lose money. Because if you try to convince yourself that you're right, you're automatically already in a bad position of honoring your stop loss in case the trade goes against you. So once you guys are really think about that, these are hugely important points. Again, the book is called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Again, Mark, I don't know you, but if you do somehow come across this, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to get in touch with you. I would highly suggest anyone pick this up. And again, it's all about the psychology of trading, which is much more important than any chart reading or anything like that you could ever do. So I hope this was helpful, folks. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube Live.